COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, has been around for 20 years or more now. In 2018, the General Data Protection Regulation came out of the UK, and then last September, building on that, the Children's Code came out. Now, these regulations are similar to COPPA in lots of ways. Companies, all the sites, services, apps and online services your children and your families are using should be complying with COPPA and with the GDPR in general, because the internet is global and companies operate across all of the boundaries. Both of the regulations speak to parents and children's rights. And it's very important for families to be aware of their rights in relation to their personal data. COPPA allows a parent to review information, request to have it deleted, and there are a whole series and set of rights under the General Data Protection Regulation that a family, a parent, a child, or any data subject can action to review their information, to request it. They have a right to see it. And in order to do that, you should find some way of contacting an app or a site on the service so that you can find out what data they've got about you and how it's being used. The Children's Code has set 15 standards. A lot of these really build on COPPA. COPPA was, I think Denise would agree, the gold standard for so many years. And a lot of these regulations really build on that. So the standards of the Children's Code are really about privacy by design. And that means that when a company is building an app, for example, or a big online gaming platform, that they should be building in privacy defaults and settings. So checking the age of the user, making sure they've got the right level of parent consent, collecting the minimum data they need from your child or you to be able to use that service, and protecting that data. And so there should be privacy settings that allow a child not to have their content public, for example. If you live outside of the EU, the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, and the code, they have very long arms. So if a company is operating globally, so if an app is available across the world and it has EU data subjects, or it's an EU company processing, so the app is made and built in the EU or outside of the US, in the European Economic Area, then all of those protections apply to US children and US data subjects as well.
And that's the same with COPPA, right, Claire? I mean, the little secret out there for all these years has been that kids across the world have actually been protected under COPPA because companies in the US have to provide those protections not only to US children, but to kids everywhere. So well before the GDPR and Article 8 and the ICO's code for children came out, these companies, at least in the US, which many of the big tech companies, come from, were obligated to protect children everywhere. And that means obtaining verifiable parental consent before they collect, use, or disclose children's data.